Students, on slide 7, we see an example of a developing learner and his or her writing. Okay, so this is the almost there level, the developing learner. Remember that in the beginning learner level, one just simply identified story elements. However, in the almost there level, a student can talk about how events, characters, the settings, and issues play a role in the story. So now the student is not just identifying, but they're going a little bit further and they're actually talking about how the story elements play a role in the story. The example reads, Scrooge is the protagonist of A Christmas Carol. The major conflict in the play is that Scrooge is greedy, unkind, and uncaring. At the beginning of the play, Scrooge refuses to go to his nephew's house for dinner. He won't donate to the poor and is mean to Bob. Finally, he learns what his future will be like if he doesn't change his ways. He realizes how his actions are making himself and others miserable. At the end of the play, he donates to the needy, helps Bob Cratchit and his family, and goes to see Fred. His actions prove that charity, mercy, and forgiveness bring joy to both the giver and the receiver. So we can tell that this example is much more developed than the beginning level learner. However, we are not at the distinguished learner level just yet. We see in this example that the student was still able to identify the major conflict. Okay. We also see that the student was able to include some of the things that Scrooge did. We also see that this student was able to tell us how Scrooge changed. Okay. Now, even though this writing is much more developed than the beginning level learner, we know that we are still not at the distinguished level learner because the student is just simply talking about these events and telling us about them. The student is not explaining or analyzing just yet. Okay? So make sure that when you are writing, you're not just listing information about Odin, but you are truly explaining. And you'll see that happen on the next 2 slides.